welcome back to my channel. I'm Beth, also known as Bethany P, a teacher on Instagram, and Bethany Lewis, freelance performing arts teacher on Facebook. I hope you're all well. I am back today with another video, something a little bit different and definitely going into another one of my passions this week with this video. So today I'm going to talk about my top 10 musicals that I have seen live. So what I've done is I've got a little bit of a sneak preview here. All of my programmes out, and I decided I would like to tell you about my top 10. Obviously, theatre is back this month after so long, way too long away, and I'm so excited. I've booked quite a few tickets for quite a few shows, which I can tell you about in another video if you would like me to. But today I thought I would talk about the shows that I loved and that I have seen. I've seen quite a lot of shows now, which I love, and I'm definitely going to go and see more now that the theatres are open. But I wanted to tell you about the top 10 I've watched. A lot of these are also very musical theatre appropriate for kids and for teenagers. So from a teacher perspective, that is where I'm coming from with that. Any musical theatre lovers out there, then I'm just doing this in case you are wanting to know what shows to go and see. I don't think all of these are back open, but I'll let you know which ones are. I'm pretty sure I've got all the details on most of them, if not all of them. And yeah, I'm excited to get into the video. If you do like this video, please give it a like. Don't forget to comment below your favourite musicals, as well as clicking that subscribe button down below. Yeah, I would love to have more people to the family, so let's get on with the video. Okay, so we are going to start off with my all-time favourite musical. Anybody who knows me knows that I am absolutely obsessed, and this is one of the very last musicals that I got to see at the beginning of, it would have been last year, before lockdown. I was very lucky to go and see this in February of last year, and it is Dear Evan Hansen. So this is my programme. I'm going to be showing you all of my programmes with the shows that I talk about. So I saw Dear Evan Hansen at the Noel Cowell Theatre, and oh my goodness, have to start with this show. So the obsession started quite a few years ago when it became quite a hype. It was along with Hamilton, two of the biggest shows in New York, and everybody was talking about wanting them to come over here. Ben Platt obviously took on the main role as Evan. Ben Platt has also been in like Pitch Perfect, you might know him from, and will be undertaking the role of Evan in the film coming up later this year. So I listened to the soundtrack, instantly fell in love about that, and it's about anxiety and social media and the power of social media, and I just think it is so recent. The music is absolutely insane. Just to make it really simple, it is written, the music is written by the same people who did The Greatest Showman, and I just, honestly, I could not get enough. So I was very lucky to see all of the original cast members in this in London, and I think I cried throughout the most of the show. So if you are going to watch this, do get tissues. The music is outstanding, the harmonies are gorgeous, the depth in the acting that they have to go through is absolutely insane. It is so realistic and so real. I wonder how they do that 8 shows a week. But yeah, I would, if you get the opportunity to go and watch this, it's also for teachers, a great one for kind of deep themes and teenager themes that are happening at the moment. Mental health, all of these important themes that we need to be bringing up and talking about with our students. So yeah, this is the first one, Dear Evan Hansen, and I loved it, and still do. I even got Matt into it, and he's not into musical theatre. Well, he is, but not as much as I am. Okay, so like I said, at the beginning of last year, so in February last year, I went to see Dear Evan Hansen. Dear Evan Hansen was very luckily gifted to me by my boyfriend for Christmas, so we made a bit of a weekend of it. Now, I didn't really know what I wanted to go and see at the time, but one thing that I knew that was on my list was Waitress. So Waitress was on at the Adelphi Theatre. I'm really sorry the lighting's gone crazy, the sun's come out, which I'm not going to complain, but it is making the lighting go a little crazy. So Waitress, and they've just announced that Sarah Bareilles and Gavin Creel were coming over. They had to unfortunately cut their run short because of COVID, but they were there for a short period of time to fulfil the role of Gavin and Dr. Pomatter. So I think I've said that right. So this is basically all about Jenna, who is a waitress. They have a little bit of a romantic fling going on, but she also, covered her face there, she's married, and so is Dr. Pomatter. So it is really funny, but then it's got a really deep story behind it as well. I love the music. So the music is actually, I believe, an all-female team. It has got, like I say, it's a comedy, a little bit of a romantic comedy, but then it's got your real moments where you can definitely cry. And I absolutely love this. I will just say that Sarah Bareilles' vocals, oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever heard such amazing vocals. I listened to Sarah Bareilles quite a lot before I knew that she'd written this and was in this, but then I wanted to go and see her in it. I still would have gone and seen it. I do want to say that I still would have gone and seen it because I believe also Lucy Jones was an amazing Jenna, but I'll come on to that in a second. And so I've completely forgot my train of thought. So I was really keen to go and see her in this, and it is absolutely brilliant. Highly recommend this show. Unfortunately, it is not in the West End anymore. Back to the Future has taken over in the Adelphi Theatre, but Waitress is going on tour. I'm very lucky that I have tickets for December, so I'm very much looking forward to. They've cast Lucy Jones. They've also cast Matt Willis from Busted. I don't know if he's in it when I'm going to see it, and I'm not 100% sure who they've cast when he's not in it, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing this again and seeing Lucy Jones. She is one of my favourite musical theatre performers. Okay, so we are now going on to another show that I absolutely love, so Kinky Boots. This was also at the Adelphi, so this left the Adelphi and then I think Waitress came in. There might have been something in between, but I don't think there was. So I wasn't 100% sure on this musical, I will be completely honest. My friend, we were in London, we were like, we'll go and see it impromptu. And we paid like £20 for seats right at the back. And oh my goodness, I got taken in so much. I wasn't expecting to leave the show loving it as much as I did. Now, I saw a different cast than the original, I think. Oliver Tomset was playing Charlie Price, but then I actually saw Jordan Fox. Now, Jordan Fox, if you have heard his vocal, oh my goodness, I think I fell in love with him there and then. Absolutely amazing vocal, lovely story, again, so inspirational. It's got some great numbers in for students within a high school. I think they might even brought out a junior version of this to be able to perform, I think. But it's inspired by a true story, which is lovely, and it's just an upbeat, feel-good show, which who doesn't want to go and see an upbeat, feel-good show when they're in London? Also, the music is informed or written by, I don't know if she wrote all of it, but by Cyndi Lauper, which you just get this whole kind of pop vibe with it, I think, anyway. And I fell in love as well with the character of Lauren. Lauren would be one of my characters I wish that I could play. Natalie McQueen played that role, and she's also somebody that I've very much looked up to since seeing her in this, and I think she is currently in 9 to 5, could be wrong, but yeah, highly would recommend this show. Okay, so the next show is not one that I've seen on the West End, but one I've seen on tour and is making me want to go and see it in the West End. Another show that everyone who knows me knows that I love, and this is the first jukebox musical that I'm talking about here, so Mamma Mia. So Mamma Mia is a jukebox musical, so it is all ABBA music that is in this. Obviously, everybody knows the classic film with Meryl Streep, and I absolutely love this. Another feel-good family musical that is just comedic, got its lovely kind of heart-wrenching moments. But when I saw this on tour, I saw this at the Regent Theatre in Stoke-on-Trent, and just, oh my goodness, and I'm probably going to have to put a counter down here of how many times I've said, oh my goodness. The choreography, everything was what musical theatre is meant to be. Everything was on point, the energy. I remember I took my mum, and I just remember feeling like, oh wow, like they could have not put their energy and any more energy or effort into that show. So this is a lovely one as well if you are new to musicals, because obviously it'll be something that you are familiar with. But like I say, love this show. It is amazing, and I would love to go and see it in the West End. I'm thinking of actually booking and just having a day down London myself, and this would definitely be one of the ones that I would go and see. Okay, so I'm going to kind of talk about these two musicals kind of at the same time, because there's an extra special reason that one of these musicals has a place in my heart and will always have a place in my heart. So I was very lucky in my second to third year of uni, in between, I went to New York. Actually, it might have even been my first and second, between my first and second year, we went to New York, and I never thought that I would get the opportunity to go, especially at that age and without my parents. And oh my goodness, I want to go back, I want to take Matt, I want to explore, I want to go and see every show over there. Obviously, it won't be this year, it won't even be next year, but definitely something that I'm wanting to do. But whilst I was over there, I was very lucky to get playbills. These are playbills, so these are a American version of the programme, and these are quite iconic over there. I think at the time it was LGBTQ, I hope I've pronounced that right and said all the right things, month over there, so that is why they have a coloured top, but I do think the top is quite different. These are quite different to how they are set up than a programme. I've just actually realised it was Tony season over there as well, which is the Tony Awards is Broadway's version of our Olivier Awards, so celebrating all things theatre. And I've just actually seen this theatre, so the Gerald Schonfeld Theatre is right opposite where Dear Evan Hansen was playing, at the Music Box, and we nipped over and we managed to meet a couple of the cast members. Oh, you can imagine my face, obviously. Ben Platt wasn't there, unfortunately, but I think we met quite a few. Rachel Bay Jones, and a couple of others, so that was amazing. But the musical that I'm actually talking about here is Come From Away. So Come From Away has now transferred over to the West End. You can go and see it. It's a little bit different in the sense that it is a one-act musical. It just goes straight through. It's not too long, but the story behind this is absolutely insane. I'm seeing it in America as well. So it is about characters and their effect, or the effect that the 9/11 had on them. So they're on a flight back from wherever, and they find out about 9/11 on the flight, and they have to stop the plane in a town called Gander. And oh my goodness, it is just, oh my goodness, pulls at your heartstrings, because obviously it's based off real life. It's a very heavy actor muso show, and it's just incredible. Highly recommend. It's a new musical. I love contemporary musical theatre, as you can probably see from here. But yeah, I'm just absolutely obsessed. The passion and the stories that they are telling are absolutely incredible, and it just kind of makes you sit back and be grateful and think about your loved ones, all those kind of things. Sounds a little bit morbid, but It's not at all. Celebrating life and kindness and generosity out of such an awful situation that's still awful when we look back on it now, and the lives that it affected and everything like that. So do go and see this. It's a good one as well, that if you're in London for the day and are going back in the evening, but you've got a little bit of time to go and see a show. Obviously, it's not 2 or 3 hours long. It's I think it's 75 minutes, no interval, and it's amazing. So highly recommend that in London. I can't actually remember what theatre it's in London. Actually, I'll link it here. And then also another show that's very close to my heart is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So again, I saw this on Broadway. I actually paid quite a lot of money to see this on my last night in New York, and I was the only person that went and saw it at the Luntfontein Theatre. I actually got to meet quite a lot of the cast after. As you can see, the whole system with gaining autographs and stuff is so different over there than it is to over here. It seems a lot more organised, if I'm being honest. Now, the Broadway version is 10 times different than the West End version, but I didn't mind that at all. The big difference is the fact that the kids are played by adults, so there's no kids other than Charlie in this show, which is quite strange if you think of it. But then it was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. Christian Boyle played Willy Wonka. Great show for if you're teaching musical theatre. And if you have a look at, like I say, the two different ones, the Broadway cast recording and the West End cast recording, they've got different content, different materials that you can use. And obviously it's really family friendly as well. The way that they did the glass elevator was a standout, and just the way that they did the squirrels with Veruca Salt was amazing. You can tell that so much has gone into this. Unfortunately, Charlie's not anywhere anymore. It's not on the West End. Now, when I went to see it in London, because I saw it twice in London, it was actually my first West End show, they did say that they were going to bring it kind of on tour or something, but I don't know if that was in America or whatever. But unfortunately, right now it's nowhere to be seen, so I just keep listening to the cast recording. But if you do get a chance to listen to it, or hopefully one day it will come back, I do highly recommend. I'm also going to put counter on for how many times I would say that. I recommend all these shows that I'm showing you, as I wouldn't be showing them to you. Okay, right, so whizzing through the last 4. So, Beautiful, the Carole King musical. Again, this is the musical that I saw on a whim. Went without kind of knowing anything about it and fell in love with it. This lady here, Cassidy Johnson, currently in & Juliet the musical, is incredible. Her vocal throughout this, because it is a very heavy show, it's about Carole King and her life. It's based on her life. It's more like a biography. And she just plays it so well. The different tones of music, styles of music that she does. She is just amazing. And there's a lot of stuff in here, actually, another jukebox musical that people kind of go, oh, I don't know if I would like it. But then there's so many people who will know the songs in this show. You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman being probably the main one. Locomotion, a really big one done by Kylie back in the day. And it's just amazing. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's got like the Drifters in it, and not the Drifters, but obviously people playing the Drifters, and you just see how she created her music and the struggles that she went through whilst creating her music, and from her being really young and how she started up until kind of it finishes with her at playing an event somewhere. I can't remember off the top of my head where that is, but it's got some really great songs into it, as well as You've Lost That Loving Feeling, which is also in Top Gun. Classic. But yeah, Carole King wrote them, and you can see them all in this musical. Okay, next is Six. I love Six. Six is amazing. The vocals and harmonies in this are ridiculous. There are 6 of them on stage, and they sing their absolute hearts off. Like, I can't even tell you that, and I've become obsessed with this. I think I know every word to the cast recording, or I think it's actually a studio recording, the version that I've got. And also, my partner's got into this, again, somebody who's not really into musical theatre. I recommend anybody who is a teacher, yes, there are some bits that are a little bit risque, but if you are a teacher and teach history, oh my goodness, if I was in school and learning about this in history, because there is factual information in this, I would love life. I really would. I think I would have even maybe taken history for an option if it meant doing this. I know it's not as straightforward as that, but if you are looking for a way to engage your kids, it's a little bit different. Six the Musical is amazing. So I saw an understudy in this. I saw Grace Mowat, and I actually ended up seeing her in & Juliet at a later stage. She's amazing. But other than that, I think I saw pretty much everybody else. I know the character that she was covering for had a bad back. I'm just trying to figure out who I didn't see. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused by that, actually. I'll have to maybe have a look at that. It's also a one-act show, so it doesn't have an interval. It's really engaging. They get involved with the audience. It's funny. Again, it's got its moments where you can have a bit of a cry. And I love this. I think the women in this are absolutely incredible. And I'm very lucky to also be going to see this again in Birmingham in September. And I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. Okay, on to the next one. Everybody's talking about Jamie. I love this show. I think this is an amazing show for now. Kind of very similar to Kinky Boots, actually. But then we're talking about this is based... Oh, actually, they're both based off real life. Just realised that. So they're both based off real life. This is Jamie New, and it goes through his struggles and his wins of becoming a drag queen, because that's what he wants to do. I love this programme, how it's made. It feels like an actual book, where some of them are more rounded. Like this, it's got like an actual spine to it. It's wonderful. So this was playing at the Apollo Theatre. I went with uni to watch this, and it was great, absolutely great. I'm just trying to remember who I saw. This is when Michelle Visage was in it, and I saw her, and she was great. Absolutely loved it. I think she fitted in really, really well. But that's a whole different topic on how celebrities fit into musical theatre. I do believe she's got some experience though of performing. But this is one that I'm actually currently doing with some of my kids at the moment, and they are loving it. It's so up to date, it's so contemporary, kind of a pop mix, which is wonderful. And it's just a great way to start conversations. The script is also out as well, which I've got over there, which I use as a resource. But it's got some really lovely solo songs actually for girls and for boys. So do highly recommend checking this out, whether you're a teacher or whether you want a feel good, but meaningful. It actually having a storyline that is real and has happened to somebody in real life. That is what I meant by that. But yeah, I love this musical and would definitely go and see it again. Last but certainly not least, and I'm very excited about this because Heathers have just announced that they are returning to the West End and going on tour. Will I be seeing either or both of those? Yes, I will. So like Mamma Mia, unlike but like Mamma Mia, I didn't know what I was going into with this. My friend Jess got me into this musical. She was like, let's go and see it. Carrie Hope Fletcher was in it, so let's do it. Was also introduced to Jodie Steele. What a voice she has. I will leave it there. Go and check her out if you haven't already. And I didn't know what to expect. Did I go into the theatre, the Haymarket this was at, and feel every emotion possible? Literally every emotion possible, yes. Was I expecting that from this? No. I think I laughed. I was in tears by the end of it. I was angry at the characters, I was happy for the characters, I literally every emotion possible, and it was so wonderful because I wasn't expecting it. The vocals in this are insane, but then it's very Mean Girls, like if you want a girls' night out, like this is perfect, because it's, like I say, Mean Girls-esque. The cast recording's out, so I highly recommend that you go and watch. And I'm very excited to see who they announce for. They've announced the West End cast, I believe, but not announced the tour cast, or they've announced the tour cast but not announced the West End cast. Not sure on that, but they've definitely announced one. But if you want to go to a theatre and experience every emotion possible, highly recommend this show. It is a great show. And like I say, very Mean Girls-esque, so somewhat familiar to some people as well. So yeah, that is the last musical that I'm going to talk about. That was my top 10 musicals that I have seen. If you want maybe a reel on Instagram of all the shows that I have seen, like the programmes, or would like to know the shows that I've got booked, I know that I mentioned a couple in there, but there's a couple more that I've got booked and will be booking as well. If you would like anything to do with teaching a musical theatre or anything like that, I don't know why I haven't done this earlier, to be honest. I understand it might be a bit of a ramble, this video, because I'm talking on my own opinion and telling what I enjoyed about the shows. Some of these shows you might go to, and it might not be your cup of tea. Musical theatre has a variety of things and is different for everybody, isn't it? So please recommend to me your shows and what you're going to go and see when we are able to go and see them, which should be this month. I think there's some things opening this month, which is really, really exciting. And yeah, let me know whether you've enjoyed this video, something a little bit different. And I hope you've all had a wonderful week. Like I say, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, get my face out there. I would love that. And it's been lovely seeing you. And I will see you for next week's video. Bye guys.